City of Franklin City Council meeting. It is January 4th, 2021 at 6 p.m. Ma'am, could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Austin?
Here.
Mr. Blankenship?
Here.
Mr. Hukin?
Here.
Ms. Jones?
Here.
Ms. McGinnis?
Here.
Mr. Rainierson?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
So we have one.
Thank you, ma'am. Ryan and Anna and Abby, can you guys lead us in prayer and pledge?
I think they're ready.
They're ready.
All right, if you would join me in prayer. Father, we come to you tonight, and we thank you so much for a great holiday season, though it was different in many ways. There was things that were different that were less enjoyable, but some that might have even been more. And we just thank you so much for the season. As we come to another year, we thank you for another year of life. May you lead and guide us by your hand of grace. As we come into a new year, I think about your servant Job, who after a period of time of great trouble and trial and loss, you were faithful and you blessed him and restored to him sevenfold. And as I look forward, I pray this would be a year of restoration and blessing on each of us here, on our city, and we pray your hand would protect and guide us through this year. Be with those things on the agenda tonight. I pray for wisdom and discernment for those who make the decisions here, our council, our mayor. Pray that you bless them, and all of our departments and their heads. Just give them a great year this year as we serve Franklin. In your name we pray. Amen. You let's stand together for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May you seated.
Okay, thank you, Anna and Abby and Brian. All right, is there any other announcements, presentations, or public comments? Hearing none, we will go to the next item, which is under announcements, presentations, public comments. Time of year that we elect the council president. So at this time, I will open the floor up for discussion or a nomination for council president.
I'll move for appointment of Ken Austin as council president.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on Ken. Is there any other nominees? Hearing none, we will close the floor, and all those in favor of Mr. Austin, council president?
Aye.
Aye.
Get a vote for myself.
Yeah.
Might as well, right?
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, congratulations, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor and Bob, thank you, and appreciate the council members for your support. Really appreciate it.
Okay, and that gets us to vice president. We'll do the same thing. We'll open up for nominations or discussion. Hearing no discussion, we'll close discussion and go for nomination for vice president.
Mr. Hukin, would you accept the nomination for vice president?
Is that Ken?
Yes, sir.
I will respectfully decline. Thank you. Okay? I appreciate the help.
Okay.
Batter up.
We're not gonna have a special election, guys. We gotta do it tonight.
So is there anybody that wants to volunteer to be the vice president of the council?
Anybody interested?
I did.
I nominate Sean Taylor to be vice president of the city council.
Second.
Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, we will close the floor. Mr. Sean Taylor, we need a vote to elect Sean Taylor as vice president. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Absolutely not. Congratulations, Sean.
Thank you.
Okay. That gets us, now we have a president and a vice president. Gets us to consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda from December 21st. Second.
Have a motion by the president, a second by the vice president. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, we'll go to old business. There isn't any old business.
Move to read new business by title only.
Second.
Second by Mrs. McGinnis to read by title only under new business. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, this is for introduction only tonight. Common Council Budgetary Resolution number 20-01, authorizing a transfer from the MVH Motor Vehicle and Highway Restricted Fund 203 to the Local Road and Bridge Matching Grant Fund 258 in the amount of $260,420.45. Clerk Treasurer Jane Rhodes.
Jane, before you begin, in looking at the agenda, is this on here, because we could do a resolution in one reading, but it doesn't make sense until we do the ordinance?
Ordinance and
So
do
you're
it
just
all
introducing
together.
that?
If
Okay.
that is fine.
If that's what you're asking for, we can make it happen.
Okay, very good, thank you. This is, I believe I'm correct, Mark, in saying that this is our matching for our second part of our community crossings grant that we just received.
That's correct.
Okay, and just for the record again, I want to say why we got the second round. We did win the first round of $1 million. We're eligible for $1 million a year. We did get that first round. The bids come in lower than what was anticipated. We got some real good prices. We were able to give the money that was left over back to NDOT. And then Mark reapplied for a grant to fix old US 31 State Street. And we was awarded the funds for that through NDOT. Okay. So we did get the $1 million for the 2020. We'll get to use our whole $1 million.
Mr. May, it's probably appropriate for a motion to table this until the next meeting after review and approval of ordinance 2101, because you can't really appropriate something. I'm sorry, you can't, offer the transfer something that didn't appropriate.
Okay, so next meeting you'll turn those around, right? Is that what you're saying?
But we probably need a motion to table it.
Okay.
So Dave, you need a motion to table
Council
council.
Resolution 2101, correct.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Mrs. McGinnis, to table to the next meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. We'll go on to item number 2, which is also introduction. Common Council Budgetary Ordinance number 21-01, an additional appropriation local road and bridge matching grant fund capital 2020 Part 2-2, 400 in the amount of $260,420.46. Clerk Treasurer Jane Rhodes.
Yes, and as we just stated, this is the second part, so that once we get the money moved, we can spend it.
Is this actually next week going to be the first part? Next meeting? Will it be turned around? Because we have to do the ordinance first, right?
Yeah, we have to do the ordinance first, then you authorize the transfer,
Okay, so,
because you do the appropriate. Well, actually, no, you got it in the right order, don't you, Jane? Is it actually?
Yes.
Yeah, no, we'll leave them in the same order, we can't, it doesn't make sense to transfer something until we appropriate.
okay,
So, the order's correct for the next section of the appropriation.
okay, thank you. Okay, that's introduction only. So any questions? They kind of go together, but you got any questions for Jane? Feel free. Hearing none, we'll go to item number 3, request approval of mitigation agreement for NDOT Attorney Glenn Ray and City Engineer Mark Richards. I think Mark's walking up to the podium. Thank you, Mark.
Sure, thank you. This is a project that NDOT is sponsoring. It's a result of the construction of a roundabout at State Road 144 and Centerline Road that I believe will happen this year. The project requires mitigation of, and I think I said it was a wetland mitigation during the Board of Works meeting. Not quite sure that that's entirely accurate. It could be stream channel mitigation or something along those lines. But it's all within those same federal programs. NDOT came to the city last year, asked if we would consider partnering with them to provide a mitigation site where they could perform this mitigation project. We identified an area on the south bank of Youngs Creek, just west of Main Street. We actually have about a little over an acre that we could use for a mitigation site. NDOT requires about 0.2 acres, which is shown in the crosshatched area on the screen. Once that work is done, they'll post signs saying NDOT mitigation site, do not disturb. So those will be posted at the four corners to prevent any things like mowing or cutting trees or anything like that in the area. We also can't build any trails through the mitigation site. It's small enough that it's likely not going to be a problem. We also have a trail that runs along the south side of where the mitigation site is located. So this is an opportunity for the city to help NDOT out. They've been very generous with the city in the past, and it's been a good partnership. So we'd like to return that.
Mark, and it is a little bit of a beautification project.
Yes,
Also,
yes.
so-
It will help, it'll be similar to what you're going to see on the north side of the creek at the amphitheater park.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
The agreement that you have before you is rather extensive, because the NDOT uses a form agreement, and as Mark said, they've been fantastic over the years to work with. We've partnered with them on a lot of things. But they also have to follow their own rules, and the federal rules, just like we have to follow the rules. And that's why mitigation is required. If they're taking something away from another project, they have to find another place to supplant it. That's what it is. So there's no cost to us. What we're doing is providing them the basic 1 acre of land, plant the trees, plant the wildflowers, and those kind of things. The agreement that you have before you has a lot of deletions, is not applicable. Usually when we are asking for something from NDOT, there's some things that are like hold harmless agreements, things that we have to make sure that we do for them. So it was a pleasure to be able to say to NDOT, will you take all those things out? Because we're now doing something for you, which they were very willing to do. So that's why you have a lot of not applicable, because it's really something we're just doing to try to help them out. So no money changes hand.
Okay, and we can act on this one tonight.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, right.
I'll move for approval of the mitigation agreement with NDOT.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Jones. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Hearing none, we will go into other business. Read by title only.
Read other business by title only.
Second.
Didn't see it.
Yeah. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none. I am going to kind of skip to item number 2. The reason is that I want to keep the appointments together. So item number 2, discussion pertaining to the FFCRA Families First Coronavirus Relief Act, extension to March 31st, 2021. Ms. Rhodes.
Yes, sir, thank you. After discussion with Mayor Barnett and Ms. Gray, we came to the conclusion that, as most of you know, if a person comes down with COVID, they do get 80 hours of paid leave time. With this act, it went away as of December 31st. But each town, entity, city was able to, if they wanted to extend it, we had the right to extend it. We didn't feel that it would be beneficial or, lack of a better word, fair to cut it off now. We'd like to go ahead and extend it until March 31st. We do have some employees still out on COVID, and to cut them off and not go ahead with 80 hours, let alone people that may be coming down with it, we just didn't feel that was fair.
If I might add, Jane, this doesn't mean, Families First Relief Act had a lot of provisions in there. You get so many days at a reduced pay, you get, are you anticipating also if the child is sick, that
Correct.
all the
That
provisions
whole-
of it?
Mhm.
You only got a limited number for that period of time. As I understand from talking with Jane and the mayor, we're not anticipating giving an additional 80 hours
No.
to start, but allowing anybody who has not used it through March 31st to use those 80 hours. So if you have someone perhaps that got COVID in November, they could have been off on their COVID relief and would have gotten relief. If you have somebody in January right now, unless you pass a resolution authorizing it, they would not get COVID relief hours. They would have to use personal and sick days. So it's a purely discretionary decision on your part as to the management of the city and what you wish to do.
And when do we have the authority to do that?
That we passed by resolution, that is
Okay.
correct. Now, we won't get any funding for it. We're not required to do it. If someone got sick today with COVID, we could make them use all their personal time or their vacation time or their comp time. That's why it's a discretionary situation. And the State Board of Accounts has indicated that if we wish to exercise that discretion and authorize just the continuation of the program past December 31st, this board would have to pass a resolution authorizing it to do that, and that's why we're having this discussion. And they would be, the State Board of Accounts would be fine with that, because we have to keep a record of who's using what pay and that kind of stuff.
So then can I ask, I think the term was a contact tracing? How would that,
It doesn't,
that's with a confirmed COVID case, period.
yeah, and,
Correct.
well, and it's, as soon as you say yes, there's always exceptions.
It's to the rule, but right now,
But generally, it's someone who either is living with someone who's COVID diagnosed and has symptoms.
right,
person-
they have
So
to
the person
be,
has to be symptomatic, they have to be sick.
we have to have, what we have asked for in the past in my department is we have to have a positive
Yeah.
COVID test
Correct.
before you qualify for the 80 hours.
I just wanted to clarify
No, it's
because,
not somebody who's at home because of contact.
No,
and because that could be significant.
And we wouldn't, and unless you direct us to, we wouldn't change administration of this in any way, shape, or form other than how we were directed under the CARES Act from the very beginning. All we would be doing is saying to allow it to extend into March 31st
And then
of
we're going to
2020
reevaluate.
at that time.
And another thing I just want to add too, and I know Jane was probably going to say this, it's not like there's any extra money being added, because the money's already budgeted. We're losing man hours. If somebody takes off, we're losing man hours, we're not losing
Correct.
actual cash. So-
Correct. And to argue both sides of it, they could also, I mean, in 2019, if you got sick, you had to use your personal days, your sick day. And if in 2021, unless you take action, the same will be applicable. But I think mayor and clerk treasurer as elected officials wanted to come to you as elected officials and say, should we continue to treat for these next 3 or 4 months individuals the same as we did before that time, based upon the extraordinary circumstances of
Well, on a personal side, I mean, I'd hate to see someone, take their, 2 weeks of, are well on vacation because of, them getting COVID. 2 weeks have already come by, that comes vacation time, and I know the city employees want less with 8 weeks vacation, or 6 or whatever, I don't think. So, I think they earn that and should probably use that. I would be for giving them the extra money.
It's no extra money.
there is no money.
The time, excuse me.
Correct, no extra money.
Didn't say it right.
Well, I know what you meant, I just want to make sure.
Thank you. It's on my side there.
Sean, you get it?
No, I would move to approve it.
You were
Do
having
that
to,
now,
yeah,
or
I didn't,
resolution?
I didn't want to bring a resolution to you until
Okay.
you directed me to do so. And we'll certainly have it for the 20th. And I think based upon your direction, if that's the direction you're all telling me to do, I guess the appropriate thing to do to protect Jane would be to approve a motion directing us to prepare a resolution to continue COVID relief fund COVID relief provisions through March 31st of 2021.
So moved.
Thank you, Bob.
Second.
And I will bring you a resolution for signature so that we have something in their files that Jane can.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for Lynn to move forward with the resolution for COVID relief extension to city employees. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you for your direction.
Okay, now we'll go back to item number 1. This is city council to appoint a member to the planning commission, and this is an annual appointment. And the 2020 appointment was Chris Reinerson.
Mayor, I've read the document, and I didn't see any recommendation that Mr. Rynerson be put on waivers or canned from the committee, so I'll move for reappointment of Chris Rynerson to the Plan Commission.
I'll second.
We're putting on waivers and trading the
Well, I was looking
county.
for what I didn't see.
Thanks for Glad you did your research.
There was a lot of seconds there because nobody was wanting that job. So Mrs. Jones was the first second on that one. So we have a motion and a second to reappoint Chris Reinerson. Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, we will close the floor. So all those in favor of reappointing Chris Reinerson to the Plan Commission, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
In all seriousness, I know it's an important position, and it takes work, and I appreciate you doing it.
Thank
It's
you.
not my role to say that, but just between you and I, I'll say thanks.
He knows, he served like different boards, along with Kenny here on that one, so. Kenny, you was more on the EDC, right?
EDC.
And Joe Allen was he was the Plan Commission for many years.
He did.
Okay. All right, item 8, we did number 2, we'll go to item number 3, City Council 2020 appointments to the RDC. I'll stop there and just go on with the RDC. Richard Wertz and Ken Austin was the 2 appointments that the council had last year. And I think I said this the last meeting, I have appointed Richard Wertz to the RDC with my appointment, so the council has the 2 appointments with, Mr. Austin is here, and a new appointment for Mr. Wertz. Or you could have a new appointment for both, it's up to you guys. Sorry.
Mayor, I'll move for the appointment
Conference will
of
automatically end.
Okay.
Ken Austin and Ann McGinnis to the Redevelopment Commission.
Second.
Second by Mr. Taylor, so we have nomination for Ken Austin and Ann McGinnis. Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, we will close the floor for the nominations for the RDC. All those in favor of Ann McGinnis and Ken Austin signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, that gets us, next one would be the Police Merit Board. John Schaefer is the Police Merit, matter of fact, I think he's the
He is the president.
He's the president of the Merit Board. Did anybody on the council talk to Mr. Schaefer? If they haven't, I have. I just want to let you know.
I did speak to John at the dock during the Christmas drive that we did through the veterans at the Elks Lodge. At Walmart, we did for veteran families. So me and him, we spoke and we were together getting gifts for veterans families, and I did speak to him about it.
Okay, so is that a nomination?
So moved.
Do we have anybody else that has shown interest, or anybody want to nominate anybody else for the Police Merit Board? Okay, hearing none, we will close the nominations, and all those in favor of appointing John Schaefer back to the Police Merit Board, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. I'm sure John will appreciate that. Next item, Fire Merit. Mr. Joe Kelly is on the Fire Merit Board. Has anybody reached out to Joe?
I have not.
I had, just to back up, want you to know that I did see Joe. He delivers stuff here at City Hall. And he wanted me to let the council know that he really appreciates the job and he takes it seriously, and he would like to be reappointed.
I'll move to approve Joe Kelly as Skylar Merritt board appointment.
Second?
Okay, we have is there any other appointments or any other nominees for the appointment? Hearing none, we will close the floor. All those in favor of putting Joe Kelly back on appointing Joe Kelly back to the fire merit, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none, Joe will be thrilled to hear this, so thank you. Next, EDC appointment. Jake Sappenfield is the EDC president at the moment, yes, or was.
Well, is Ann our appointment?
At the EDC?
Yes.
Ann was the EDC, and I'll talk about that here in a minute.
Okay.
Ann was the appointment, thank you, Bob. Ann was the appointment for the, no, it's not right. Ann was my appointment, the mayor's appointment.
Okay.
Yes, it's not the, Jake Sappenfield, he's the EDC president. He is the council appointment. He's serving now.
Okay.
Well, December 31st was his last day.
Is he willing to serve again?
He is
Okay, so the council needs to appoint just one. Is that
just
right?
one,
Jake, you've spoken with him about that?
yes,
Okay. And Ann was the mayoral appointment?
that's correct.
Okay. I'll move for reappointment of Jake Satterfield on the Economic Development Commission.
Second.
Okay, we have a second by Mr. Reinerson. Is there anybody else? Hearing none, we'll close the floor. All those in favor of Jake Satterfield?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, Jake is reappointed to the EDC. Now, with Bob bringing that up, and thank you, Bob, for reminding me, Ann, who was my appointment to the EDC, is now went to the RDC, so Ann has just quit me.
Bailed out.
And she bailed out. So at this time, and I'm going to get beat down again, but I'm just asking in public, Sean Taylor, do you want to accept the EDC spot that Ann vacated?
Yep.
Okay, so for the record, Sean Taylor will be the mayoral appointment to the EDC. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Congratulations, Sean. Thank you.
And we gotta get Danny on some board.
Surfboard, I'm heading to Florida.
That's great.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you for that. I think that gets us through all our normal business, and we'll go into council comments. And we'll start with Council President, Mr. Austin.
I have nothing at this time. Everyone continue to stay safe. Thank you again for your my nomination for council president. I'll do the best I can. Good job. Appreciate your confidence, and also mayor with the performance of the parties. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you, Ken. Mr. Taylor, Vice President.
Kind of echo what Ken said, thank you for the nominations. Look forward to getting more and more involved as we get going in the second year here on council, and everybody stay safe.
Thank you, Sean. Danny, Blankenship?
No comments.
You're just ready to go get on that plane.
You're holding me up.
Mr. Hugan, Bob?
No comment. I do pay attention to some of the stuff that comes out on the city, on Facebook and some other social media. There was one, I don't know who does these photographs, but when they did the kind of the holiday one, the city of Franklin, and they were right in front of the art craft, and they raised up, and you can see the city square all lit up. I thought that was kind of cool. So tip of the hat, whoever does that, puts that together, that I thought looked very nice. Kind of neat.
Was it a drone?
Probably drone photo.
It's always done well, whoever does that, but when they raised, when that drone, that camera went up and you saw that square, I thought that was kind of, really kind of cool.
Thank you, Bob.
Aaron Milburn.
Do what?
Aaron Milburn.
Was it Aaron's that was his?
Maybe.
Yeah, he does quite a few of them for us.
He does most of them.
Sometimes we do
Sometimes
them.
people just submit them.
Yeah, sometimes we do them, and then sometimes there's people that volunteer to do them. And they just submit them to do it, so, and they're all good, so. Hey, Ms. Jones, Lisa?
Nothing for me, just happy New Year to everyone and stay safe. Then we don't have a big surge after the holidays.
Mrs. McGinnis?
I just want to thank the council for their support on the REC nomination and appointment, and hope everyone had a good holiday, and here's to a happy 2021, happier
Yeah.
2020.
It was happy in 2020, it just needs to be happy. Chris Reinerson?
Just thanks for the nomination to the Planning Commission board. I haven't been traded yet after my rookie year. So thanks, Bob, appreciate that.
I just think about things like that.
Who's he gonna trade him to, the county? That's what we do.
I had something funny, but I'm just not gonna say
I'm gonna stop there.
it. Okay, Ms. Rhodes?
Nothing, sir.
Ms. Gray?
Nothing, sir.
All right, I think that's it. So, thank you guys for coming, the big crowd we have tonight. So, great council, got a lot done. Thank you very much. Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Austin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.